So, good afternoon everyone. I am Rina Maricin Mustar and I will discuss about the appropriate targets. So, when we say appropriate targets is ito yung gusto natin i-target sa mga bata upang sila matuto sa ating lessons. And we have the three appropriate targets, which is the competencies, objectives, and the outcomes. So, first is the learning competencies. This is a general statement that describes the use of desired knowledge, skills, behaviors, and the abilities. So, kapag sinabi nating learning competencies, this is the attributes that individuals possess and can demonstrate in various contexts. So dito sa learning competencies is nakakatulong upang mas ma-enhance yung kanilang knowledge, skills, behaviors, and abilities. And this is the three examples of the competencies. First is the functional competencies, second, interpersonal competencies, third is the critical thinking competencies. So what is the functional competencies? This is the skills that are required to use on a daily or regular basis, such as cognitive, methodological, technological, and linguistic abilities. So, by being proficient in reading and writing, students can effectively access information, communicate ideas, and express themselves. So, dito sa functional is sila mismo yung gumagawa. So, examples which is magbibigay tayo ng activities. So, tayo yung may e-explain kung ano yung gagawin nila and sila yung gagawa ng mga activities. And next is the interpersonal competencies. Dito, merong oral, written, and visual communication skills, as well as the ability to work effectively with diverse teams. So, dito is more on oral, written, and visual communication skills. Sa pamamagitan nito is mas effective yung pagtuturo natin and pwede tayo dito magpa-brainstorming, group works, magpa-recitation. So, dito is nakakapag-interact sila and mas nabibuild yung kanilang communication skills sa isa't isa para matuto. And the last is the critical thinking competencies. So this is the ability to reason effectively, use systems thinking, and make judgment and decisions towards solving complex problems. So these are the essential skills that enable individuals to analyze information, make informed decisions, and solve problem effectively. So, dito is mas nade-develop sila, mas nade-develop yung kanilang kaisipan upang mas ma-analyze nung kanilang problem solving. Let's proceed to learning objectives. So, pag sinabi nating learning objectives, this is the statement that describes what a faculty member will cover in a course and what a course will have provided students. So, by understanding what they are expected to learn and achieve, students can see their progress and growth over time, which can help them develop a growth mindset and positive attitude towards learning. So, dito sa objectives is, di pa pinapagawa tayo ng lesson plan. So, doon pumapasok yung cognitive and affective and psychomotor, which is doon natin ilalagay kung ano yung kanilang expected after the lesson or yung gusto nating matuto pagkatapos ng tuturo natin sa kanila. And last is the learning outcomes. This is the specific statement that outlines the overall purpose or goal from participation in an educational activities. So, learning outcomes, these outcomes provide a framework for teachers to guide their instruction and for students to understand what is expected of them. So, ito yung kalalabasan ng kanilang knowledge. So, dito natin malalaman yung outcomes ng mga natutunan ng mga bata. So, dito natin is ma-determine kung ano pa yung mga hindi nila natutunan or naunawaan sa lesson, and malalaman natin kung ano pa yung mga dapat nating ituro sa kanila upang mas ma-enhance yung kanilang knowledge. So, malalaman natin yung mga marunong na and yung mga hindi pa. And let's proceed to the characteristic of objectives, which is the smarter. Setting clear and effective objectives is essential for achieving goals in various contexts, including education, business, and personal development. SMARTER is an acronym that represents key characteristics that objectives should possess to be meaningful and actionable. So, this is the acronym of SMARTER. S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for relevant, T for time-bound, E for evaluated, and R for recognized. So, i-discuss natin yan one by one. So, first is the specific. So, the goal must be explicitly defined without any ambiguity. It cannot be subject to individual interpretation, but must explain specifically what has to be achieved and the type of outcome expected. So, sa specific, this is the clearly state what needs to be achieved. So, dapat mas clearly yung mga decision natin or mas clear yung instruction para mas maunawaan ng mga bata kung ano yung mga itinuturo natin. And next is the measurable. Here in the measurable, objective includes how the action will be measured. Measuring your objectives helps you determine if you are making progress. So, must be qualifiable, allowing for the measurement of progress and success. So, dito natin ma-measure yung kanilang mga natutunan or mga dapat pa nilang malaman. And next is the attainable. This is the criteria emphasize the importance of setting an objectives that is challenging for your team but nonetheless reachable against the existing constraints. So this is the set goals that can achieve. So dito na-apply na nila yung knowledge sa kanilang sarili. And next is the relevant. This means the goal should be in line with and in harmony with what you actually want out of life. They should match up with your core values. So this can make learning more engaging and motivation for students as they can see the direct impact of what they are learning on their own lives. So kapag mas relevant yung itinuturo natin sa kanila is mas na-apply or mas maunawaan nila yung mga lesson na itinuturo natin sa kanila. And next is the time bound. So this criteria stresses the importance to specify an appropriate time frame for your goals. So you have to set an exact date on when you plan to achieve this goal. So this is the very important. So the time bound in teaching. It helps the teachers effectively plan their lessons and ensure that all necessary material is covered within the designated time frame. So by having clear deadlines for assignments, exams, and other classroom activities, students are able to prioritize their workload and focus on the most important tasks first. So this can help students avoid procrastination and improve their overall academic performance. So next is the evaluated. It is your responsibility to set challenging Goals for your team must also to support your staff in reaching their targets by assessing the progress on a regular basis and by providing some recommendations or coaching session to overcome eventual obstacle. So by using formative and summative assessment techniques, teachers can ensure that the students are mastering the material and meeting the intended learning outcome. So mas importante yung pagbibigay ng mga evaluated tests or tasks and activities to determine their abilities, which is dito malalaman natin kung yung outcomes ng learning nila. Lastly is the recognize. When reaching the end of the time frame defined for the goal's execution, run the final evaluation to assess the success or failure in achieving the objectives as your employee for the lesson learned while executing the objectives. So, dito is ma-recognize natin kung ano pa yung kanilang dapat malaman at ano pa yung dapat natin gawin para mas ma-improve yung kanilang knowledge. So, mas nakakatulong ito upang pagplanuhin natin ng maigi yung mga susunod na step na gagawin natin upang mas matuto sila sa ating lesson. So, smarter is about giving criteria to guide in the setting of objectives. Smarter goal settings dictate these two steps further, forcing you to evaluate and adjust your approach. This added sense of measurement and readjustment is critical to the achievement of anything in life. So, the overall smarter is the goal incorporates all of these criteria to help focus on your efforts and increase chance of achieving our goals. So, mas nakakatulong yung smarter to plan, to have clear lesson, and to understand what our discusses to enhance their knowledge. So, that's all for today's lesson. And thank you for listening.